Owari no Seraph episode 5, dude. Guren, let's go, dude. Guren is dope. Like, I've said this since the jump, I've said this since he was introduced, but this episode really giving Guren some development, you know, his personality, giving us slight hints as to his backstory and everything like that, and I fucks with the boy. I know he's gonna go in, I know he's gonna be a monster when it comes to fight. I don't care what anybody says, I don't want spoilers from the manga, let me tell you guys that right now. I don't want spoilers. These are just this is how I feel as an anime-only watcher. I fucks with Guren, he's a beast, let's go. That's all I can say. And this episode definitely giving us a lot more development, you know, for the Japanese Imperial Demon Company, Demon Army, and their basic, you know, structure and hierarchy and everything like that, which is interesting coming off of the last couple episodes where we definitely got that development and build up for, you know, the vampire hierarchy and the structure over there, you know, with Krul at the head, you know, I fucks with the LOLI vampire. But SHINOA is still best girl. I'm gonna say that right now. SHINOA is still best girl, but I fucks with the pink hair LOLI vampire. Krul is that shit. She's beast. Declaring war on the humans, on the Imperial Demon Army. Let's go, and we find out about the progenitors and everything like that. We still got a lot more questions with the general overarching stuff that's lurking behind the scenes with this series. But in terms of just establishing the two sides, we definitely got a nice pace going with the last couple of episodes, and I like it, dude. So, I mean, things like, you know, the prophecy of the Seraph of the end, you know, the council, the progenitors, and just more of depth into the vampire hierarchy, how demons are formed. We know that, you know, if you're possessed by a demon when you're trying to, you know, make a cursed gear and everything, forge a contract for the cursed gear, then you turn into a demon yourself. But are there other ways? What are the monsters that are in the, you know, the breadth of the world outside of vampires and demons and everything like that that SHINOA was talking about? Still a lot of things lurking overarchingly in the series, but we're slowly tackling each issue, building up the core, and I like the pace that things are going on right now. So let's dive into this episode. Before I say anything about, you know, Guren, about, you know, the Yuu and you know, Kimizuki and everybody trying to, you know, forge that contract at the end of this episode, Mika, man. Mika, I did not think I would have these kind of feels for Mika at this point, because we just see it briefly throughout this episode, and coming off of it, how he transformed into you know, his backstory where he's trying to transform into a vampire, you know, what his movements are now, his relationship to the prophecy of the Seraph. But ultimately you see, like, he's not trying to interact with Farid. He's not trying to interact with the vampires. He doesn't trust them still. He still bears deep down that hatred for vampires that he had, you know, with you when they were kids. He still has it. So he doesn't really fit in there, though he's being manipulated by Farid and Krul and everything like that. And you see him trying to, you know, comfort those orphans in this episode as well, and they're just completely freaked out by him and just scared of him. He's a vampire. He doesn't belong with the humans anymore either. He just has nowhere to belong. He has nothing. And it's just so sad to see him and see how, you know, the loneliness and the lack of, the only thing that's keeping him going right now is reuniting with you. That's really all it is. He doesn't care about anything. As he said, he doesn't care about, you know, moving up in, you know, in his position in the vampires. He doesn't care about any of that. So it doesn't seem like he's trying to do something where he overthrows them from the inside right now. Right now, his only priority is you and reuniting with you. And Farid knows that. And he's willing to manipulate him to any end for him to do that. And it's going to be tragic, because I don't see any other way around these, you know, Yuu and Mika confronting each other and having some sort of conflict, because just the base size of how things are set up. I mean, they could very well, the two of them, be a way to bridge the gap between vampire and human. I don't know how far in the future that is. I don't think that's gonna happen in this first core. I don't know if it's happened in the manga yet. I don't want to know. I'm just saying. I don't see it being something that's readily, easily done, and there's so much going on in this world with, you know, the curse of the Seraphs and all this stuff that's going on, which is the impetus for the vampires to start this war with the Imperial Demon Army in the first place. That, yeah, I don't see it. So I didn't expect to feel this bad for Mika at all, or like really like his character as much as I did. You know, I knew he was gonna survive before we even got that OP. I knew Mika was gonna survive. I felt it, and I was like, he's gonna grow up. He's gonna be a fuckboy vampire. I don't want to fuck him. But to see his persona right now, I actually really care about Mika's character, and it gets me. Now, moving on, we get a lot of setup for, you know, the Japanese Imperial Demon Army and how their hierarchy is, you know, find out a little bit of Guren's background, being part of the Ichinose family, and how they're kind of a branch family off of the Hiragi family, and that's the family that's at the head of the entire, you know, army and everything like that. We see some of the other generals and just get that dynamic, introduce the characters, have it established, and I like it. And to see Guren's persona, how he just doesn't give a fuck about them. He's just like, fuck this. He has his own own priorities. Something definitely happened in the past between him and the Hiragi family, for sure. Just outside of the relationship between their families, there was something in particular. He seems to have very much distaste for this one general in particular. He's like, fuck you guys. I don't know what you guys are still talking about this. I don't care about the politics. I'm out. I'm gone. And he had the slick back hair. Look, dude, Guren's a beast. And he just reminds me so much of you, dude. He really does. And that's why their interactions are like that. Same thing with Kimizuki and Yu's interactions. Just Yu has those confrontational interactions with everybody that he truly cares about. That's just how their personas are. And it's interesting to find out that my best girl right now, SHINOA, is also part of the Hiragi family. So definitely some backstory and some sort of, history between SHINOA and Guren and the Hiragi family and Guren in general. So I'm really interested to see how that's built up and find out more about the ranks and hierarchy within, the army itself. You saw that white-haired dude that seemed more friendly with Guren, the other dude who just didn't give a fuck with the shaved head. So really interesting to see that breakdown. Then you have in this episode, Guren testing everybody by revealing his blade and everything like that, and shit just goes crazy. I really like that scene. Great comedy with SHINOA teasing Yu throughout the episode. Like, I just love that dynamic of SHINOA just fucking with you. Like, she steals the grade. She's like, you're one of those rare geniuses. You got a 0. How the fuck do you get a 0, dude? I was just dying laughing. And you're just like, you're annoying, right? I'm like, it's that SHINOA greatness, dude. It's that SHINOA greatness. And then Yoichi gets a lot of development as well, as they basically test his resolve. You can see that he's clearly a prodigy in terms of forming a contract with the demon because he's the least affected by Guren's little ploy and everything like that. But, reconfirming his resolve that he wants vengeance for his sister. He doesn't want to lose anybody in his life ever again. And so he wants this power. He's willing to risk his life for it. So to see his resolve once again, to see how him, Kimizuki, and Yu are all very much alike is interesting, and a lot of buildup is taking place around that. So good episode as a whole. Now we have them, each about to get themselves, set up and contracted with a curse gear, one of the rarest kinds, the black demon weapons or whatever they're called. And I'm hyped. I'm hyped to see how it goes. This episode, just a lot of setup overall, and further a little bit of character development here and there for various characters, Guren, Yoichi, Mika, etc., etc. So great episode. I'm hype on Owari, Seraph, dude. I don't care. I don't know who doesn't really like it at this point. I know a lot of people bash it from the inception, talking about, cliches, Attack on Titan comparisons, all this, that, and the other thing. I don't care. I'm going to continue to reiterate this. This is a very entertaining series. Sit back and enjoy it, dude. You got the Sawano greatness. You got Wit Studio going in with the beautiful color palettes and animation. I don't know what more you want. So that's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts on this episode, and I'm out. Peace.